Everybody, welcome to the MenoLounge. I'm Julie Gordon-White, CEO of MenoWell, high fiber and protein bars. So always excited to be with you on Tuesday. I've been on the road everywhere on panels or moderating for M Factor. I hope you've had a chance to see it at a live screening or on PBS, the M Factor film before the pause, perimenopause. Fantastic. And my favorite part is about the men. So that's just a little reminder. Make sure you see it. Okay, I am so excited about our guest today. I'm going to bring her up and stop talking so we can start talking together. All right. Powerful today. Here she comes. Body by Brown Fitness. Hi there. Oh,
Hey, Julie.
of course you're outside.
I had to be. How authentic could I be in this message if I didn't come to you from out here by the river?
I love it. Wearing my favorite color for sure. Oh, I'm so glad you're
MenoWell purple.
there. You go. I love it. I have really been looking forward to this, Brooke. Let's just jump in. You know, we crossed paths but did not see each other at Dr. Vonda's event. I think that's where you discovered MenoWell bars and me. Isn't that right?
That is where I discovered MenoWell bars in you. I had zoomed through the expo partly because we had a break from sessions and I needed to go get a run on there
Of
in
course.
Disney Coronado and then make it real quick through the expo before returning to sessions. And I grabbed MenoWell bars, but didn't taste them until that night when I needed something sweet and I didn't have my normal dark chocolate there. I'm like, well, this is a dark chocolate MenoWell bar. Let's see. Game changer. I needed to reach out to you, connect, and get my hands on MenoWell bars after that because my Lindt dark chocolate fix has now been replaced with evening
I
MenoWell
am
bars.
honored for someone like you to make that switch. Thank you, Brooke. I mean, you've been such a great supporter because you loved them and your daughter, all the cute, fun videos you've made. I really appreciate it. But I love you
Thank you.
more for all the things that you have done and gone through and share with women. You have a master's degree in physical education and sports and nutrition, and you've got every certificate on the planet. Like, you are the gold standard, and you're an author. You're just out there doing the thing every single day, inspiring women, not just through fitness and nutrition, but also boundaries in their lives, especially midlife. So let's jump into it. You wrote a book called
Thank you.
Sweat, but there's so much to it. Tell us about Sweat.
Yes, Sweat with Brook Benten was my first self-published book. I had written a book prior to that called Lift Light, Get Lean for Hearst, but Sweat was my memoir meets workout inspiration. And so each chapter goes through a type of exercise, but really the message is how I sweat through real life stuff that maybe involves that exercise, or maybe it's a pun. For instance, bar chapter is on an actual bar workout that you get at the end of the chapter, but the whole chapter is about my struggle with alcohol before finally kicking that to the curb and living an alcohol-free lifestyle. So bar has a double meaning in that chapter. And then the running chapter is how I used to run away from everything. I literally used running that can be so healthy and so good for us to try to run away from problems, but it doesn't work like that, does it? But the end of the chapter gives you a running workout. And so it is my personal stories in puns and pieces. And then the end of each chapter gives a workout with a QR code that gives a workout video of me guiding you through these different types of workouts. But it goes through everything from yoga to cardio dancing, step aerobics, kickboxing. The kickboxing one is titled Fight Like a Mother. And
They're all
as
like a
women,
mother, right?
they're
I
all
mean,
like
that's
a
what I love.
mother.
Right.
I am a mother, and so it appeals to other women,
Yeah.
other mothers, but it really is just blanket women, gender in general will find a resonation with Sweat with Brook Benton. But yeah, the Fight Like a Mother goes into dirty dogs, sexual harassment, all the things that as women sometimes we carry in shame. And secretively, I'm like, no, I'm going to put this in a book. I'm
Mm.
going to put it out there.
I love how
And then,
generous you are with your stories, because in midlife, we don't always talk about those things. You know, we talk about fitness and nutrition and all that, but we don't talk about the things that we are fighting through, learning how to navigate in a new way, maybe on our own, whether that's divorce or losing a job or kids going off to school, empty nest feeling. Like there's so many things in addition to menopause, perimenopause, piled on top of that stuff. So
You're
I
so
think it's
right. And as
hard.
women, we are trained to say, I'm fine, it's fine, everything's
I'm
fine. We
fine.
don't
Yeah.
talk about it. We internalize it. On the
Mhm.
inside, it's like a fist and cuffs fight.
Yeah.
But on the outside, I'm fine. How are you? You
Right.
know, it's
And
always
just
deflect. How are you?
deflect. Yes, I'm fine,
Mm-hmm.
and deflect. So
Mm-hmm.
really,
Mm-hmm.
so you mentioned sobriety. That's a really big part of your story. What would you like to share with us that maybe another woman who, because we talk about how alcohol is not really our friend during menopausal transition because our bodies don't metabolize it very well, but then there's more to that for some women. So I'd love for you to share anything you're comfortable with around that.
Thank you. I love talking about it. In fact, my third book was called 10 Minutes to Slim and Sober because sobriety is such a big part of what got me to this healthy, happy place where I'm at right now. And I couldn't be here. I wouldn't be here had I not made the decision to give up alcohol. So you're right that our hormones don't like putting ethanol in our system. Our sleep doesn't like drinking alcohol at night and then waking up at 2 in the morning with those anxiety ridden thoughts that wouldn't happen without ethanol in our system. It's a poison. It's bad for us. But for the longest time, I'm a very all or nothing type. So it was either all exercising or I'm relaxing with a glass of wine. Like we
Mm.
deserve to relax with a glass of wine. And we're kind of fed that narrative that the wine is what relaxes you when I can choose to be relaxed because my nervous system needs a break and I'm going to rest. But
Mhm.
the way it was in my head is I just got to get through things and then I can relax with alcohol that's going to soothe me, almost like a baby, like it's going to nurture me, it's going to take care of me, and I
Yeah.
would look forward to that glass of wine. But it doesn't typically work like that. You have a glass and then you want a second glass, and there's a quote that first you take a drink, then the drink takes a drink, then the drink takes you. And
Ooh, oh, I've never
that's
heard that before. That is powerful.
it's
Mm,
so powerful. And then the shame, you're three-quarters of a bottle in, and you're like, I didn't mean to do this. How did this
mm,
happen?
mm.
And you lambast yourself in the middle of the night. It's like, this is never happening again. And the next day, doesn't happen again till noon or 4 o'clock or it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And it's so normalized that whine a little, you'll feel better. You know,
Yeah.
all of these little cheeky things that make it seem like alcohol is our friend,
Mhm.
and it's our frenemy at best. We feel
Yeah.
good for the nanoseconds that we're drinking it or the few minutes after, and then it comes back with such a sucker punch that
Mm,
I had to come to a point that it wasn't, I need to wait until 5 to drink, or I need to wait until the weekends, only drink on the weekends, that it made it seem like there was any benefit whatsoever to my life
mhm,
by drinking alcohol. It was making me less than. It's not like you're more fun at parties when you're drinking. You're not yourself at parties when you're drinking. And so
mhm,
to fully be who you are, that unique person, that unique soul that you get to be without ever having to worry about, can I exercise now? Because yeah, I had a glass, probably shouldn't do it right now. Or am I fully present with my kids? Because I feel a little bit hazy right now. I never have to think about that. For me, it was just on February 23rd, 2023. Like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm just done.
I'm
I'm
done.
done with this. No more rules as far as only drink this much and measure it with a measuring cup or anything like that. I realized there is no benefit. It's not helping me in any way. It's hurting my athletic goals. It's hurting my relationships. Most importantly, it's hurting my relationship with myself.
Mm,
I don't want
mm,
to every single day wake up and be like, you failure, you
mm,
failure. You
mm.
drank yesterday when you said you weren't going to drink, and you're going to do it again tonight because it's just what you do. And it's a terrible way to live. That inner critic is like, yeah, I knew you were going to mess up. And so I needed to kick her to the curb and replace it with an inner mother that's nurturing and loving and can accept me and also hold my hand through whatever I'm going through.
Mm.
Um, so when
I
tough
love
things
that.
come in life, for instance,
Yeah.
I mean, my husband recently got laid off with his job before. I would have gone right to the bottle, right? I cannot handle this. I'm going to have a drink. Or when things don't go well with my children at school, oh, I can't, as a mom, that just destroys you. Now I know that I have all of the faculties. I have everything that I need inside of me, inside of this nervous system that can handle it. I'm sturdy. And it took giving up alcohol to realize that sturdiness. But you can't always tell it by looking at somebody on the outside, because physical fitness is what I studied in undergrad and grad school and have these certifications. So I know how to physically get fit. So does another man that he and I were awarded Austin's Fittest Fitness Professionals several years ago.
Yeah.
After we got this award that we both collectively have nano body fat, it was a bit after that he chose the sobriety path and I chose the sobriety path. So looking at us back there when we were the fittest fitness professionals in all of Austin, we were also wigged out with drinking problems. So you cannot tell just by the look of somebody. And sometimes physical fitness has so much less to do with our health than all of the other facets of fitness that aren't helped by cardio and strength training and all of the things that can get us physically in tip-top condition.
What a beautiful message. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's personal, but I know you also like to share it, and because you know there's other women struggling, and it can be confronting also, I think, when women start making the decision or saying out loud, I think I'm not going to drink anymore, and you still want to, and figuring that out. So I really am grateful that you're sharing, and follow Brook Benten if you want to hear more about that, or just reach out to her directly on Instagram, because I know she's going to be there for you. Okay,
absolutely.
Let's shift. And this is actually built on that in some way into nourishment, because I love, even though you're all about nourishing food like me, that we know that nourishment is actually a bigger word. It means more. What is a more expansive thinking thought process around nourishment, Brooke?
Nourishment is treating yourself healthy in every dimension, and that starts with our brains. And as midlife women, we know that perimenopause hits the first punch with the brain. This can be a good thing. Your brain is rewiring, and you don't have to buy into all of the narratives you have in the past or what you've told yourself about yourself. It's a reckoning. It's a new day. It's a new page. And so creating a nourishing place to live between these ears with your neural pathways, your brain, your mind, and making that a safe home, that we really need to feel safe. That's first and foremost with nourishment, is you need to create a space between your ears that it's safe here. It's safe in this body. It's safe in this mind. If you don't have that, you can eat all the high protein and high fiber and the perfect food diet in the world.
All the cottage cheese you can eat. Yeah.
All the good, yummy cottage cheese, but you're still not nourishing yourself. And there can be with food, a perfectionistic tendency that we get scared of carbohydrates that are actually so good for us, especially endurance athletes like myself. But we feel like we're doing so good. It's very performative when we're ticking the box on the amount of protein that we need, ticking the fiber, and not having dessert, and again, not drinking alcohol, that we're doing all of these things right. And it becomes a very perfectionistic mentality. And I want somebody to hear this right now, that if you delight in having a warm butter croissant with your coffee in the morning, nourish yourself with that warm butter croissant. It's okay. Be active as well, but let's stop giving certain foods the green light and others, these are bad, I can't have it, it's not good for me. It could still nourish you, because we're not just physical creatures. We're emotional, we're social, and all of that is needed. You need strong social connections also to nourish the inner narrator that lives inside of you. Treat that right by surrounding yourself with like-minded people. We need sleep. Golly, the best nourishment of all is getting a good night's sleep, going to bed before all of the Netflix stuff starts and the lights are dark, the room is cool, you're in cooling pajamas, it's quiet, and you're able to, that's when we build muscle, is during our sleep time at night. So not only does it help with our physical fitness, but we wake up clear headed. We can get through all the things we have to get through in the day. We're more pleasant to be around when we've gotten enough sleep. Boom shakalaka.
That's for
Nourishment
sure.
starts with sleep.
Right. It sure does. I love that. Nourishment starts with sleep. That is a quotable right there. Um, Zia posted a comment here. She was saying, such an extreme. Hubby's going through cancer, so we're both going through it together. No alcohol, no need to worry about alcohol. We usually were just having a glass only socially anyway. Anything you want to say to Zia?
I do want to tell Zia that this is hard. Feel the hard. It's so easy as women, like I kind of started off with, to be like, we're going through my husband's cancer, but we're doing fine. He's doing fine. We're going to be fine. It's a hard time in life right now. That's difficult on anybody, on any family. And this is the person you care about more than anybody in the world. Feel the hard and let it be hard and express to your strong social connection when it's that hard. But I'm so glad that alcohol isn't part of the picture for you, because
Yeah,
obviously you and I both know that wouldn't help you at all. But really feeling those ugly feelings and sitting with them and crying and not always being strong for your husband, you can fall apart too and feel what you really feel.
that's beautiful. I know that comes from a place of love, and we're all on our own journey, right? And our own timeline. So, no judgment. I always say we're in the no judgment zone here. This is just information for you to take and decide what works for you whenever it does, if it does. So, just want to make sure you knew you were seeing Zia. Um, so, talking about nourishment, and then, as midlife women, Gen Xers, I'm an old Gen X. I'm a last year, like hanging on, to Gen X, but we were so much, you're welcome, Zia, so much in diet culture of, 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, shrink, get small, that, I grew up drinking as many Diet Cokes as I could, and, like that whole thing. And it's taken many, many, many years to move away from that, but I'm still calorie focused. And so how do we get through that whole like get skinny, small, shrink thing? Because for most of us who are in our 40s, 50s, early 60s, we're stuck in that. We're stuck with it. What do we do?
I think it's a really big struggle, and talking about it helps. Talking about it with other women. Stop holding it on the inside that you're measuring yourself to where you were at 35, or it's usually not other people we compare ourselves to. It's me at this age, or
Mm,
me in
that is so
these
true.
jeans.
But when I was in college, when I was in high school, I weighed this, and I want to get back to my high school weight or something before we ever had children or this or that. But yeah, totally
Right.
on point.
We can do that. And I think it goes back to the nourishment piece.
Mm,
Are you getting the
mm,
sleep? Are you speaking kindly to yourself? Because the body holds on to that. We cannot berate ourselves up here and think the rest of this system is going to operate just fine, but we can be meanies up here. We can't. It holds on to that. So I think it's finding healthy relationship with food is a journey. It's a lifelong journey. We're all in it. I'm not a calorie counter. I feel like if you allow yourself to be active and move, then food should be fueling all of this wonderful activity I'm outside right now because I think the sunshine is great for us too. So food can be a friend. We also need to give other women some grace. We all have different genetics, and some of us genetically are going to be predisposed to being what Dr. von der Reich calls the size of my pinky finger.
yeah.
And and plenty of us are not going to be the size of my pinky finger, even if we try. We
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 have to
tend
work
to
at
put
it
on a little
to
bit
not,
more.
right,
We
exactly.
work. And it shouldn't be throwing darts at either side. So the women now that right now it is trending the waif look, and I see pictures pop up of these celebrities that are being accused of being malnourished. We don't know what's going on in their lives. We don't know what stress that they may be doing the best they can to handle it, and they're not eating as much as they will once they can get over this hurdle.
Mhm,
Or maybe they are eating and this is just the way their body looks. So I really think we need to pause on judgment and
mhm.
just make sound, healthy decisions for ourselves, knowing that This is our home. This is where we have to live, between our ears and our body. Nourish yourself with good food and nourish yourselves with healthy thoughts too. And let the body be what the body is, as long as obviously you're not obese or have excessive adipose tissue that needs to be addressed. And fortunately now with GLP-1s, that can be addressed as well. But I just want us to be compassionate towards ourselves and to other people.
I love that. No, I think it's really important. So I know your previous book was about getting toned with light weights, and now all we do is talk about heavy weights. And so where are you on the spectrum? Where are you weighing? Boom, boom. Where are you weighing in on this?
I weigh in that we need women lifting weights or doing body weight exercises. We need women lifting things because it helps to preserve this muscle mass, that we use it or lose it. We need muscle mass. Most of my personal training is using heavy weights. And with body weight, I'll do things like chin-ups and pull-ups and planks. The body itself is the best piece of fitness equipment you will ever own.
Look at gymnasts, right? What their bodies look like with no steel, that just lifting their own body weight is amazing, but it hurts. So I think we don't want to do it.
It does. We need to do it. And it's not to attain a gymnast figure. We need to be doing resistance training in order to preserve our bone and our muscle. And so, yes, to push-ups, planks, pull-ups, chin-ups, but also yes to using the lighter dumbbells and working some muscle groups that don't like really, really biggy things. So like when you're doing reverse flies, if your weight's too heavy, then you're going to be raising your torso and you're going to be swinging the weights out like with momentum and not control. Right. So go a little lighter there. Now, when we're doing rows, your back is a beast. It's so strong.
Okay, why is that? When I'm doing flies, 15 pounds, and I'm like, oh, everything is hurting, right? But those rows, I've got 30 pounds, and I'm
That's
like,
right.
Keep going. Why? Because our back muscles are bigger than.
Well, because when we're doing those reverse flies, primarily you're working the backs of the shoulders. Tinier muscle groups. So yeah, you're getting some upper back in, and you're working against gravity too that's fighting you. When you're doing the rows, you're going to be working your lats. Your lats are your wing muscles that start down in your lower back and come around and connect here in the shoulders. They're so strong that when you do a freestyle stroke with swimming, the lats are doing most of the work in that. They're beast. And so when we do those rows, that's what you're engaging. And you're right. Absolutely, Julie. You can be using the 35-pound dumbbells. And when other women see you and they're like, oh, is she really lifting 35-pound weights? You're like, until I can do 40. You're going to continue to work on heavy weights for those bigger muscle groups that can handle it.
You can get a lot of confidence when you use those bigger muscles, and you can feel more confident lifting heavier and heavier, because when you start with the smaller muscles, around the arms, the buys, the trot, like all those, you're like, oh, those are, it takes more, they're just smaller. And then especially during menopause, perimenopause, when a lot of women get frozen shoulder, right? So we're doing presses, and like that. Oh, it took me a while to work back from my frozen shoulder, which I didn't know was frozen shoulder. I thought it was Ashtanga yoga. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, I want to really touch on what you just said, because we are more prone to soft tissue injuries as we go through perimenopause and menopause. Hormones change. The quality of our tendons is not as great as it used to be. And just supplementing with collagen isn't going to be your end-all, cure-all. So lifting heavy totally helps with that. I suffered an injury called proximal hamstring tendinopathy, which is, for lack of a better, a big pain in the rear end where the hamstrings insert into the glute.
Oh, and wow. Okay.
To heal that, I tried everything from rolfing to acupuncture to physical therapy, cold therapy, hot therapy, you name it. And what really, really helped more than anything was heavy deadlifts. Heavy deadlifts helped to build the capacity of the hamstrings right there, or the tendon that connects the hamstrings to the glutes. When you don't have the capacity of those tendons, then you will overload them very easily. And when load exceeds capacity, injuries happen. So what you have to do is build the capacity of the muscles and the tendons. And you do that through things like gold standard for middle-aged women, deadlifts, heavy barbell deadlifts.
They are fantastic. I know I used to have a sore lower back. And then when I started doing RDLs, that really, it just improved the strength of the whole back, hams, the whole region, and no back pain anymore. So,
Right. It's so good. We're prone to osteoporosis in the lower back too. And so deadlifts strengthen the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings. It's what we call the posterior chain. And as women, we can be pretty bad about only working the things that we see in the mirror. We don't see back there. And
like
so we
men
don't work
only
back
work
there.
their chests, right?
Right. We need to be working the posterior chain. So if you're asking me if I could give you one exercise to do strength training in the gym, it would be barbell deadlifts.
How about dumbbell? Is that okay at home? Is that okay?
You can start with dumbbells, but just give me a pinky promise that one day you will go and load some real weight on the barbell and do a short set. You only have to do maybe 5 reps. Take a break and then do another 5. But let's really challenge those tendons because they don't respond so well to lightweight. They could do that all day long. That's not going to heal any problems you might have there where the hamstrings connect to the glutes, whereas the heavier weight will make a difference.
You heard it here. And heavy is what's heavy for you, right?
Correct.
Because women get all like, heavy, it's, it's scary. I don't know what is heavy, but you've got to work to whatever your heavy is. Yep.
Right. If you can do more than 10 reps, it's not that heavy. You're working on endurance. And we want to work on strength, ladies. We want to improve strength. That's going to be lower rep counts. Strength and hypertrophy are lower rep counts. Endurance is going to be the higher counts. So that's not real heavy weight when we start working on muscular endurance. Let's work on some muscular strength.
Strength. Right. You got to be able to throw that bag in the overhead, not just like eke it up. Right.
That's right. That's what we do. We want to functionally be able to carry our own groceries, put our own luggage in the overhead bins, functional things in life. And women so worry about bulking up, especially midlife women. That's really not a concern. We don't have the hormones to bulk up like a sumo wrestler. It's just not going to happen from strength training.
It's like, good luck. Go for it.
Right.
I agree. Okay, super good. I'm just looking at my notes here. So you are naturally inclined to work out. Some people, like one of my BFFs, Kendra, I always say she just has to run herself every morning. Like she has to do something hard. She has to go to hot yoga. She has to go on a bike ride. She has to do something hard every day. And then there's people like me who I'm at my desk most of the time. I have to actually like schedule it in, concentrate, hold myself to the fire to get it done. How do you encourage people like me, asking for a friend, who struggle with movement, let's just call it that, even though I love it after I do it, but it just never comes easy. What do you do with people like me?
So roll the tape forward. You're not living right here in the present. Think about, how are you going to feel an hour from now? If you don't do anything, an hour from now, you're going to be disappointed in yourself. You're going to be wishing you would have done something different sometime within the past 60 minutes. And that's not going to be a great place to live. Between these ears, that's where we have to live. That's where the brain does its work. And conversely, if you were to just give it a little nugget, just 10 minutes on a power walk, you would feel so good that you did what you said you were going to do. You were honest with yourself. You said you were going to go on a walk. You went on a walk. Or you said you were going to go do deadlifts at the gym. You did your 5 sets of 5 deadlifts. And it feels so rewarding. The reward is in not just the endorphins post exercise, but in being honest to yourself, doing what you said you were going to do. And we also don't need to always put on a pedestal the women who go hardcore all day, every morning, because that may be avoidance. It might be that they're not facing other things that are difficult in life and they're using exercise deleteriously. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're using too much of a good thing and not facing the real things in life. We need to be honest with ourselves, be here for ourselves. And for other women that struggle with getting going, find an exercise partner, find somebody else that's also in this with you, that's similar fitness level, maybe similar stage in life. You both have children, or you both have, empty nesters. You're both recently divorced, and make that person your 8 a.m. walking partner or your 8 a.m. let's go take a cardio dance class because it's going to get my mind off of uh, the other things, and then I'll come back to it an hour later and see how I'm feeling. But buddy system works really good. Group fitness classes are great, but always know you got to roll the tape forward and know what future you is going to feel if you do or do not do what you said you're going to do when it
I
comes to
love
what
that you
anything.
said that. That is the gold right there. You know, fitness, nutrition, that's the surface. We need to do those things, but what's underneath that is what drives us, and our identity, who we say we are, who we believe we are, who we want to be, is really the secret sauce to the whole thing. And um, staying true to yourself, because that's where our confidence comes in, Brooke. I agree with you so wholeheartedly that doing what you said you're going to do. And, you know, we think like, I don't want somebody else to be disappointed, but it's more about how we feel about ourselves, not feeling disappointed in ourselves when we say we want to feel fit or live a certain way, but then we don't do it. So really powerful.
Absolutely. You want to know that you're honest above all other virtues. You want to believe that you're honest and you can't trick your brain. I said I was going to do this. I didn't do this. I wasn't honest with myself. That's not worth it. When we played the tape forward, and that's me also aging myself with that analogy.
The
But when
cassette
we
tape,
play
yeah.
that cassette tape forward, we
We can
want to
just
be
fast forward.
proud.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, fast forward. Yeah, we want to be proud of that we did what we said we were going to do.
I love it. I love that. That is gold right there. Okay, I know I can't let you sit there forever. You're going to get burned and all the good things there in beautiful Austin. But what tips might you have that you would want to leave with our women today who are listening?
One tip would be around boundaries. We hear this word kind of tossed around a lot, and we always think that boundaries mean building up barriers with other people. They're not going to cross my boundary. I've got to have boundaries. And it's not about other people. It's about what's going to make you feel safe and whole and not rattled on the inside. It should not be an uncomfortable place to live inside this body. And so that's going to mean being very deliberate with your time, saying no when the rest of the world wants you to say yes. When group fitness classes need a sub at 7:30 p.m., I'm just going to have to say no because that's time with the kids, and I don't like to be that physically active late at night. It's going to mess with my sleep cycles, and that's a boundary that I can't cross. And when it's important to you to have time, let's say an hour and a half a day for exercise, 1 hour for something outdoors, and then 30 minutes for your strength training. But these other obligations are trying to crush out that time. You set the boundary that is my hour and a half. And I don't need a reason to try to say, this is why it's important. And I really need to do this because if I don't, then I'm not going to achieve my goal of running a marathon next month or whatever. You need no explanation besides it's among your values, and that makes it important that you keep this boundary, that you hold this boundary. So I think my overarching message here is feeling safe on the inside is important because it's important to you, and we're not made to please everybody else. We're made to feel safe and whole internally. And so we have to start there before then pleasing the masses. And sometimes we please them just because we're taking care of ourselves and we're setting good examples. And that's what they need more than us preaching to them or going along with what they're asking us to do anyways, is for us to be healthy, be whole, and model that for the rest of our world, but mostly to ourselves.
Mm, beautiful. Just beautiful. I love that so much. In midlife, we're navigating so many things, and just following some of the important things you've shared around holding boundaries, fast forwarding to your future self and who you want to be, being in integrity with yourself and doing what you say you're going to do, and leveraging that more expansive new nourishment, not just about food, but how we nourish our bodies from head to toe, from nighttime to daytime. So
That's
good.
right.
This is why everybody, one, you should be following Brook Benten, and you should also, and that's a Benten. And then also check out her book, Sweat with Brook Benten, because you get all these great stories, you get all this incredible inspiration and tools, and you get workouts. What the heck?
That's
Like a
right.
mother. Workouts like a mother.
That's right, Julie. That's right. I hope
Okay.
other women lift the mother load. That was the intention with
So
Sweat with
good.
Brook
Well,
Benton.
and I know your personal mission is about inspiring well-being in millions of people. You're already doing it. You're already doing it. So
Thank
thank you.
you.
Where should they should go specifically to find the book?
They can go to my website, brookbenten.com. That's BROOKBENTEN.com, or everybody's favorite shopping store, Amazon. You can find it on Amazon as well. Free
Beautiful. Well,
shipping.
thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spreading the goodness and being so honest and generous with your own story. You're going to change lives. And Zia, thank you for being here and being a part of the conversation today. She said thank you to you, Brooke, and she said you look great, and I agree. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Zia. And best of luck and a healthy prognosis forward
yeah,
with your husband
absolutely.
and
For your
well-being for
hubby.
you.
Thank you, everybody. Brooke, hit it. Go do your thing. I will be chatting with you later. Okay.
All
Be
right.
well,
Sounds
everyone.
good.
MenoWell. See you next time.
Bye,
Bye.
Julie. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.